What does your speaking voice say about you? Fear, confidence, magnetism, charisma? Are you pulling people in or are you pushing them away? What you really want to do is engage people, and I've got just the person to help you do that. Hi, I'm Paula D'Andrea, and today on Rock Your Life TV, I've got featured guest Cindy Ashton, and she is going to show you the ways and explain how your voice indicates and holds trapped blocks and fears. So stay tuned for that. We're going to get ready to roll with Cindy in just a second. I wanted to remind you that you can go to pauladandrea.com/RYLTV so that you can pick up a free gift and also stay in tune with us so that you don't miss any people who rock like Cindy. I'm excited to have her today. She is a speaker trainer, and she has traveled all over North America as a speaker, entertainer, and singer on multi-platforms. She's also been featured in all the multimedia, including the New York Times lifestyle section and alongside Donald Trump. We're going to hear just about that in a second. What I really want to know from Cindy is about the awards that she's received from both President Obama and the Queen of England. Those are some serious creds. I've got this gal Rockn with me right now. Welcome, Cindy Ashton. So happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Paula, and hello to everybody watching. I'm very grateful to be here.
Absolutely. You're just shining all over the place. Your life is totally rocking, definitely a person who rocks. And I do want to hear about what are the awards that you have won and also how you ended up beside Donald Trump.
So the awards I got were actually Humanitarian Awards, and I debate whether or not I should put them in because they're not really related to the work I do, but they're totally related because for over 25 years I've been out in the community working with every single possible age group and helping people in a variety of different concerts and fundraisers and really getting out there to help make change. So although it's not directly related, it is in the sense where I, as a speaker trainer and a presentation skills trainer, I'm able to really go into different communities and help people to be more confident and more magnetic and give back in that way.
Awesome. I love that, Cindy. And you know what? Don't sell yourself short because everything that you have done adds to your skill set.
Absolutely.
And it all puts into what you're doing now. So it doesn't matter, like, you know, it could be from, you know, a talent contest that you had when you were a kid. That in some way has shaped who you are today. I want to remind viewers of that too, is that, you know, this is what rocks your life. It is, you know, accumulative. It's not only what you're doing right now, it's also the great things that you're carrying forward from things that you've done during your lifetime. So they all in some way add up to who you are, and you know, and totally bring that in. So I love to hear on that. Now, Performance Magazine and Donald Trump. Is this like, you know, same?
We were both. No, just to be really clear, I say that we were both featured in the same magazine, so we were not featured together. So that's just really important. Okay. We're on the same page together. My article's here. You turn the page. His article's there. So Performance Magazine went out to 5 million people. So it was a real honor because there was other people there. I think that President Obama had actually written an article in that magazine, and there's like all these big names and then me, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's totally awesome when you get included with that, and I would totally group you in with the Trump. I mean, everybody loves the Donald, right? And certainly
not that far from me.
yeah. Cool. I want to start off by finding out like how you made the association of the voice and blocks and fears. Like, was it something when you were just starting yourself that you started to notice, like, you know, what was pushing through you, or were you working with clients, or kind of both, or how did that develop? And tell us a little bit about that.
It was really both. And the first layer of it is when I went to university, I studied kinesiology and specialized in relaxation therapy. So a lot of my work was around the body and the tension we hold and how we carry ourselves. And but it was specifically more to relaxation. But then I was also doing my opera diploma and a degree in music, and I was teaching singing. And I would go into my classes with my students, and I was trying to follow the classical way of teaching singing, and I'm like, this person, I can give them all the technique in the world, but they're blocked. And I just started to kind of piece together my relaxation therapy of where people's tension and stress and pain was with what was happening with their voice. So that was the first layer of it. And the second layer of it, I myself was born with heart failure and a 20% chance of living, and the whole left side of my body was structurally damaged, which meant that my leg was turned in and I had to wear casts on my legs to be able to walk properly. My left eye, until March, was up and to the left, so I had to crank my neck to be able to even process people. And because of all the heart surgeries, I had all kinds of cutting of nerves and bones and muscles. So from birth, I was in tremendous excruciating pain. And I noticed because of all the pain in my body, I was coming across like I was pushing all the time because I had to push because my body was in pain all the time and I had to be heard and I had to push past that fear. And what I noticed in my 20s is that I was working harder than anybody and not getting results. And I couldn't understand that I had more degrees and more diplomas and more credentials than most people my age, and yet I wasn't getting the same money and the results as they were. And I came to understand that it was because of my body language and the way I was coming across because I was in so much pain. So for me, this work is very deep on my own level of having to, how do you not come across that way when you're in that much pain and your body's fighting you? And with my own work in terms of my science background and actually working with clients for over 15 years, I have noticed repeated patterns over time of this person was raised this way and that's why they speak this way now.
Gotcha.
So it's really
yeah, it sounds really deep, and you know what? You and I have a lot of common, both that, working in with the body and with pain. A lot of my clients are in pain, and I work with them to take them out to notice the cycles that are created, whether they be genetic type of things or sometimes self-inflicted, certain things like doubts and fears that get created that hold people back, and they go into the cycle of pain as kind of like a block to go to the next step. So I love what you're talking about, and I'm really interested to know what you have found to be the three most common fears and/or blocks that most people have. And also what parts of the body are the most common that they hold them in.
Oh, that's so interesting. So there's so many juicy ones, but I find the people who have the rounded shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
and they sigh a lot. So they do a sentence and then they do another sentence and then There is lack of confidence. So the rounded shoulders is lack of confidence, and this means that they've got a heavy heart. They have a lot of grief on their heart. And
Wow.
that's where they're holding that. And so, listen, we've all got grief in some way or another. We all have times where we feel unconfident. But if you are aware of you doing, and then I talk, that reads to somebody else. It's like you can't. It's like when you have that much grief in your life, it's like you can't breathe in life. And how could you work with a client or network or be in harmony with people if you're not breathing in life and you're not in flow with life because you're in such grief? And then because my clientele are corporate people and entrepreneurs, they don't want to come across in a way where they're holding all that grief where it's like, dude, you're not even here. You're just too stressed.
Right.
You look totally unconfident. I don't know if I could trust you. And the thing is that when we come across that way, we get victimized. And I hate to say it, but a lot of people who are in abusive relationships, their body language and their speaking voice, in no way am I blaming them, but their body language and their speaking voice reads to other people that I'm not secure, I'm holding grief, I'm vulnerable, and now you can come and attack me. Which is,
it's true, and I think that's true.
And I'm not blaming. Oh my gosh, because we all have those patterns at some point in our life.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's kind of like that. Is that it's almost like a lot of things that you touched upon are posture driven. That people get used to carrying themselves in a certain way. A lot of times these things come from early on in life, so people have a tendency to start developing that roundness where they have a problem in their back, their legs, whatever. They're compensating, so the rest of their body goes out of whack. When you start throwing in emotional attributes to it, then you start getting areas that become trapped, and all of that energy gets locked in there with it. So yeah, totally. And then the other aspect of it is that people become so used to being in that mode, out of alignment on so many levels, that they just take that as how they are,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah,
So
and it's
yeah.
really interesting because if you're going through a time of your life that you've got grief or you're having a really hard time, that's going to show. And the key is that you got to love yourself, but you also have to develop massive awareness. Because when you've got the awareness, then you could say, okay, I'm going to lift my arms up, I'm going to bring them back down, ribs are up, shoulders are back now. Okay, I'm just going to put my hand on my heart, give myself a little soothing. We do this as a protective thing. So if you have awareness of what the patterns are, I'm not saying you can't be in grief. I'm not saying you can't feel like a victim because we all have our days. But if you have that awareness, then you can manage yourself when you're out in public, so you can protect yourself better and make sure that you're reading in a way that's powerful.
Gotcha. And it sounds like you're really in tune with being able to, notice that in somebody, and then kind of pinpoint it a little bit, make them bring them to that awareness level. So let's go to the next step and say, okay, now you've brought them into the awareness stage. What are some of the things that you do with them, and that somebody who might be watching this, who is going, oh, that's me, kind of thing, or I may know somebody who does have that. Could you share something with us that would maybe an exercise that you do with people that starts
Yeah.
that they can practice on a regular basis
Well,
that
I think
starts to bring them out of it?
one of the first things I want everybody to do first is actually put one hand on their chest and one hand on their belly. So
Okay.
one chest on your right, and
Yep.
I just want you to close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to breathe naturally, which means that you're not trying to breathe, so you're not changing the breathing.
I
The
love
minute
that.
I
There's
change
so
it,
many breathing
everybody,
things, but
and
people
I'm like,
don't
no,
breathe.
no, no, don't try to breathe. So it's just about noticing. So stay with your natural pattern. And the first thing you're doing is simply noticing. When you inhale, does your chest go up or does your belly go out? When you're inhaling and exhaling, are you finding that you're holding your breath in between cycles? Are you finding that you're hyperventilating, which means that you're breathing in and then and then letting it out fast? Or are you more relaxed, which means you're exhaling longer than your inhale? So just start to notice those things and
Nice.
notice your breathing pattern. And a lot of people don't realize that it's all your voice is completely affected by your breathing habits and what you're doing with your body.
Tell us a little bit
So
more about that, Cindy. Like, what are some of the things that affected, and how is there shortness of breath? Is there a tendency to be louder, to speak in spurts? What are some of those things?
yeah, so it depends on your voice pattern. It depends on how it is. Just to go back a second, what you do want to be doing, out of curiosity, were you in your chest or your belly or a little bit of both?
I was more belly, and then kind of it developed into a nice even rhythm.
Okay, cool, excellent. So ideally we want to be in our diaphragm because we've got our ribs and they're concave, right? And or the diaphragm is concave and the bottom of our ribs is where our lungs in. If we're taking a breath in from the bottom of our lungs, our diaphragm expands and pushes down, and then it pushes all our guts down. And that's why our stomach goes out. It's not because our stomach doesn't go out because we're breathing in our bellies, which we kind of are. because we're breathing into all of our cells, but it's really about getting into our belly.
Gotcha.
So,
you know what, Cindy, I'm going to stop you right there because I'm going to put you totally on the spot right now.
all
And
right.
I want you to belt something out for us and give us, like, the effective, because you've done this, you've definitely, and congratulations, because it sounds like you've done, like, amazing. You've practiced a lot. You've sought out things that were going to help you stand out, to correct a lot of things that you were born with, and to get where you are. So I want people to, like, really see the power, and that's really what it is. It's like, because I know that you're a powerful person. You're definitely one of those people who rock, and I want you to just, I don't know, give us a really good, like, I don't know, even a couple. You don't even have to, like, go all out and belt it, but carry a tune for us. Sing something like inspirational.
Okay.
And
So I'm going to carry a tune, and I'm going to show you how to do it with your speaking voice. So,
okay.
summertime, and the living is easy. So I want you to notice, I didn't push.
I want more.
I wasn't, summertime. Did you see that? Did you see how that was pushing versus being in your body? That's why I was starting to show you guys the breath, because a lot of speaker trainers, because they don't have an opera background and really understand the voice the level I do, and they didn't have this kinesiology and my health conditions, a lot of speaker trainers, and it's not to put them down, there's just a different method, but they're very focused on, well, speak louder, articulate more, smile there, da-da-da. And to me, I feel, this is just my opinion, it's very artificial. So my method, because you were asking him, how does this all connect? My method is about going through your body, learning where you uniquely hold your stress, releasing all your stress, and then speaking from the belly. So there's a difference between going, I'm a powerful speaker. Do you hear that pushing?
Yes.
I'm a powerful speaker. Boom, I'm grounded and in my body. Can you hear the difference?
Absolutely. It's very, and for people who are, like, play it back a couple of times, play with it, because this is exactly, and here's a point I want to make too, Cindy, because I know that you do work with a lot of, people to get into a speaking thing, but this is something that is, really applicable to anyone, because the fact of the matter is that you want to stand in your power no matter what you do. And that's what Rock Your Life is all about. It's about really, celebrating yourself, being grounded, having as much of you available to you on a regular basis as you can, so you can get out and rock your life. Like, just really be fully who you are, so that, people experience you, and they experience you in, high volume, and in everything that you have to offer. So yeah. I love exactly what you're giving to us. So thank you so much and also, showing us a couple of differentiations there.
Well, it's kind of like when you watch speakers on stage. A lot of them come running on stage and go, "Hey, is everybody pumped up?" That's there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a very masculine way of going about it. It's all about the push, 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 hype, hype, hype. Versus, "Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing today?" is like, boom. And it's more of an opening, letting you come to me, versus I've got to push for myself to be heard. So it's just really, you can be powerful, but I'd rather see people be powerful in their body and grounded, because when you're grounded, then that allows the good that you're receiving, or the clients or whatever, to come to you. It's really quite remarkable when you do that shift from the pushing to be heard versus the being to be heard.
Cool. Cindy, three quick tips to wrap us up. First, I want to know, also let people know where they can find you, because you are totally a powerhouse on all levels. And how can people get in touch with you?
All right. So I've got two websites, but the one you're going to want to look at is yourpersuasivevoice.com. That one is specialized for the voice, and it's all about body-based, which is what I was talking about releasing all the tension and freeing the real you and freeing your authentic power. And while it's definitely targeted for people who are entrepreneurs, speakers, coaches, corporate people, CEOs, sales teams, I'm finding a lot of people go there because they just want to be more empowered in their life, and they don't want to be taken advantage of, and they want to be heard. So yourpersuasivevoice.com would be the place to go to check it all out.
Awesome. I love that. So give, round us up with what I like to call a little bit of rockspiration and maybe a couple of
Love
tips
that.
on just how somebody can like really something they can do on a regular basis that helps them, kind of encapsulate everything that you've spoken about so far in a nutshell. Just three golden
Oh.
nuggets for us.
Ah. So I would lie in bed. I would wake up in the morning because you have to wake up at some time. And before you go out of bed, I just want you to notice that you're naturally in your belly. Notice that you're naturally breathing from your diaphragm and start to tune into what that sensation is. And then while you're in bed, do a muscle scan. So you just close your eyes and you start to go through your body and notice where the pain is or where the tension is, where you're stressed, and either get out a pen and paper or just visualize and say, okay, stomach, I'm hurting. What's going on? What do you want to tell me? Because our body has wisdom and it talks to us all the time. Chest, where am I holding grief? What is talking to me? Shoulder, what's stuck on my shoulders? What do you want to say? So, and then what you could do is set an alarm on your cell phone or Android or whatever you've got, and do that 5 times a day, where you just get a little alarm and you can go to the bathroom at your work and just take time to breathe and do a quick muscle scan, see where you're at, and continue to develop the breathing techniques and getting yourself to that point where you feel more grounded and dropped in your body. But the best way is doing it lying down. So really in the morning and evening is really your first step of
Cool.
just breathing in bed and attuning to what that feels like to expand your belly.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I love it. You are definitely one of those people who rock. One more time, your website, please.
Yourpersuasivevoice.com.
Cindy, I'm going to say, first of all, anybody who's viewing, make sure that you go to pauladandrea.com/RYLTV, get a free gift, sign up so that you get more people like Cindy. And Cindy, I'm going to ask you to take us home, sing something for us, give us, 15, 20 seconds of that beautiful voice.
All right, so thank you very much, Paula, for having me, and thank you for everybody watching. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars.
Love it. Thank you so much, Cindy Ashton. You totally rock. This is Paula D'Andrea for Rock Your Life TV. Join us again, and we'll see you on the other side. Have a great day.